Hello, this is Scott Miller. I am the founder and CEO of RampedUp. This is a product roadmap presentation, and we like to have these conversations towards the end of the calendar year as our customers ask us, what are we doing, for the future, and how we might be able to align with them in terms of, what we're doing from our product and technology perspective. Our product roadmap really is going to focus on the acronym ETLD, right, which is extract, transform, load, and deliver. And we're going to go into much more detail in terms of what that is, and to discuss how that really is going to fulfill our brand promise. RampedUp was established in 2016 as a trusted source for global business intelligence, contact, company, and technological data. We are committed to supporting the channel business model through our app, APIs, and flat files. So what that means is that we have an indirect agency model, meaning that we are more or less a data wholesaler for B2B business intelligence. We spend a lot of time and energy and effort to ensure that we can make our information available for our customers and keeping it as accurate and as current as possible. And as you see that last quote, RampedUp understands that, in the data business, your currency is your currency. So what that means is, keeping our data accurate and current so that it can be monetized by our customers. Discussing, where we're going as a company. When we talk about the ETLD process, right? Extract, transform, load, and deliver. What we're doing is putting energy and effort around getting direct source material. And so what you see there in the left here for our source material is finding publicly available information about people and companies and the technologies that those companies use. So our four main sources are social media, as you can see there, Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and the like. That's a great source of information for individuals and where individuals are saying where they are currently employed. We have below that, you can see the RampedUp Google Chrome extension. I believe we're over 500 users now that are using the Google Chrome extension and are part of our extension network and providing information. We search websites for job postings. We search websites for technographics, and we search websites for firmographics, and in some instances demographics. And we're also monitoring the newswire for press releases. So these are our inputs, as you see here on the left-hand side. Our new process, right, will look to automate this source material so that we can get them in. And what we have are two separate silos. And I realize whenever we talk about data in silos, that certainly isn't thought of as a pleasant idea. But in this instance, it has to be, right? Because we get information about individuals and we get information about companies. So the thing that we want to do is ensure that we have the latest information about where individuals say they reside or where their companies say they are employed. And then we want to fulfill as much as the company level information as we can. So we merge those two concepts together to get a full B2B business profile. So this is the process, right? We've set up different services that will, work with our contact data, meaning email exhaust, and we'll share a little bit more about what that means to validate our B2B email addresses. And then a pretty strict standardization process with some information around lib postal, lib phone libraries, ensuring our data gets out in a correct and standardized manner. And then we merge those two together, right? That's how we build our flat files, right? So we merge contact and company information together. And sometimes you can get the company information standalone. We have many customers that will do that. And then a delivery platform. So as we talk about our roadmap, talking about a self-service platform to deliver our flat files. So ETLD. A little bit about our 30-day build cycle. So there are going to be a lot of advantages that we expect to see out of the ETLD process, but the biggest one is going from a 90-day build cycle to a 30-day build cycle. So in other words, going from a quarter to a month in terms of making sure that our main data assets are kept up to date. And so contact company, local information, email information, and technologies. So here's what we expect to see, coming in 2023. From our public profiles, corporate bios, and press releases. This is part of the extraction process. We're seeing about 50 million updates, per month now. We expect for that to grow to around 250 million updates. Those are updates in terms of either changing or verifying where an individual says they're employed. In terms of company data, right? We're looking at corporate websites, social media, public filings. We expect to see 60 million company updates per quarter and perhaps over 100 million lines for company records. We're very excited about the new company data assets that are coming out. With that will be more local office information. So we get that off of corporate websites, web search, social media. So what that means is that, not only are we going to share with you where an individual says they're employed, but if that company has a local office, then we'll give you that local office address as well and local office phone. B2B email addresses, at the end of the day, most of our customers look to us to provide the largest set of B2B email addresses that are available. We are creating an email exhaust exchange that will start at 250 million emails validated every quarter. And then we're going to expand our technographics to, right now we're searching about 18 million companies, and we have about 8,500 technologies that we're following, and we expect that number to grow precipitously. We'll share a little bit about what that looks like. For the email exhaust program, so this is rather new, and this is a big effort in terms of what we're doing with our email validation process. So it's really, as you see here, it's a waterfall methodology, and it's 5 steps. So the first step that we do when we find our email addresses is, and we attach them to our contact data, is that we first make sure that there is a syntax and then an association, meaning we want to make sure that their email address is an accurate and correct email address, right? It has the guts of a correct email address. And then we're going to put them into different sections, role-based, personal, or professional email addresses, right? Next, we do an SMTP validation. So we validate 225 million records through SMTP, meaning we ping the server for 225 million records, right? So that means we're going to get a valid, invalid, catch-all, unknown response from those responses. But what's kind of cool about that as well is that if we discern email patterns out of valid and understand what a valid domain would be. So if we get the positive response of a valid, then we understand that this is the correct email naming convention. And if we don't know the name, if we don't get the email address, then we can infer what that is by using the correct naming convention. Then we go through email delivery. So we're very excited about our email exhaust partnership with our email delivery partners. And so that means we have about 100 million email deliveries submitted to us every single month. So what we do with that information is that we promote or demote catch-all and unknown records. So and then based on the delivery status, and then we also have an IP address. We can apply that to email opens. We also do an extensive amount of web sourcing, and so we apply the email address from the company website to the contact record. So that's very helpful in terms of discerning if the email domain is the same as the website domain. So think about in some instances where an email domain and maybe your company is the same way, right? And so that's important to us to try to figure out what the email domain or the email domains are, if there's regional. And then the next step that we take is authentication, which is a really new process that we're excited to bring to bear in 2023. This is where certain Google and Microsoft hosted domains will authenticate if the email address is associated with an account and give us that information back. And that's very helpful for catch-all domains, right? And so again, this will help us discern email patterns from catch-all domains. So all of this is going into an email exhaust exchange program that we apply to our email addresses to make sure that we have the most accurate email addresses that we can give our customers. The next step that we're doing is taking another fresh look at technographics. So right now we're following 8,500 company or technographics. We expect to be closer to 92,000 technographics as we start to, look for different source material. So you see here Capterra, G2 Crowd, Martech series. That doesn't mean that we're getting, installed information from them. To the contrary, what we're doing is using that as a source to go find technologies, right? So think of this sort of as a way to say, well, your G2 Crowd has 100,000 technologies that they're monitoring. Capterra has 45,000, and Martech has the chief Martech grid has 10,000, right? So we look for unique technologies in there and the taxonomy that we have to make sure that we're looking for the right things, right? So that's why there's 92,000, and we've also found a way to go directly to the website for HTML code, job postings looking for those technologies, career sites, see if anybody has said that they've used that technology when they worked at a specific job, or go to the website to get customer success stories. Very exciting, in terms of just being the largest provider of technographic data, in addition to being the largest provider of contact data, going forward for 2023. We are building a new company data set with our new ETL process. The source data is going to change to some regard. So we have 140 industries now. We're going to go to 420 industries, 35 new sectors inside those 420 industries. And, it really is going to align well with NAICS codes, the NAICS 6 codes, NAICS 6 codes. And you're going to see a better association, more trustworthy information as it relates to the NAICS codes and the SIG codes. And that in turn will have better employee size number and revenue numbers when we get that, or even revenue estimates. We're going directly to the company website to get information such as locations, bios, press releases, job postings. And that's a big part of this ETLD process as well, to make sure that we have the correct information about the firmographics as we layer it on top of the contact information. And lastly, what to look for in 2023 is a self-service portal for our flat file customers for delivery. Right now, there's different methodologies that we have to provide flat file information, but not necessarily a consolidated portal. And so we're working on building out a portal where our customers can, see history, see release notes, run counts, and keep a consolidated view of people that have had access to that, people that have downloaded, their flat files. At current right now, we have flat files for the US and for global contact information. That can be with B2B or B2C, which means business to business or business to consumer. And that is 700 million global contacts and 170 million US contacts. For our company data, we have right now 55 million company records. We expect that number to grow to over 100 million. And for technographics, we have 8,500 technologies, over 18 million companies, and we expect that to grow precipitously to 92,000 technologies, over 25 million companies. Right now, you can get those flat files either monthly or quarterly, but with a big emphasis on the monthly build going forward. So that is the product roadmap. So to summarize, we are putting together a robust ETLD process: extract, transform, load, deliver, which means that we're getting information, we're automating directly from source material and getting a faster upload time from 90 to 30 days. What that's going to mean is just, more contacts, more complete contacts, more company information, more complete company information, more email addresses, and more technologies updated more often for 2023. Thank you very much.